And we're here. Welcome to the first episode of Spanglish, where we talk about women and art and speaking Spanglish and being Latin and being American and being more than one thing at the same time, like a producer, actress, psychologist, so many things that our guest today, Junet Morales, is. And I'm so happy to have you here, Junet. Thank you so much for helping us kick this off. Junet is an inspiration to me because she also is the lead in the Success into Life film, which is my first movie. So to have my lead actress from my first movie kick this off is really a major deal.
Woohoo!
So welcome, Junet.
Thank you so much, Isabel. By the way, I just have to say this. Awesome haircut since the last time I saw you. I can totally see a difference. I love it. Yes, you got that sassy Victoria Beckham. Doesn't know what she has coming.
Right. Well, for those of you at home or in your car, wherever you're listening to this, I got what's known as the Chanel bob. It is also known as the haircut I had pretty much from age 0 to age 10. So it works.
It's funny because that's basically the haircut everyone got in my family, whether you were a boy or a girl. My grandmother would sit you down in front of her and she'd take out those scissors, so talented with those scissors, and just chop off all your hair because that's make it grow like stronger.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what we're doing right now. This is what life is all about, right? It's all growth, all getting stronger.
I
So
chop
tell
off.
me enough about me. Tell me about you. Tell me about your journey with acting in your life. And then we'll get into the elephant in the room and being a woman in this industry and all that juicy stuff and maybe sometimes yucky. Who knows? But anyway, tell me more about you and your path with acting, with theater, with art.
So from from a child, I've been always very expressive. And I think this is a quality that I owe to my father very much because I don't know, men tend to express themselves in the face a lot, and I've captured that in him, and it's like all him if you shave my head. And when I left Cuba, I was so young, and even at that age, I was introduced to dancing and kind of theater and singing from my mom's side. My father, gosh, he doesn't have he's deaf pretty much to music. I love him though. And my mom, she took the creative side and she really taught me to express myself and dance, and she put on makeup on me and she'd dress me up and teach me all these things that I left behind when I came to live with my dad here in the United States. And because of it, my dad has two left feet and tone deaf. And so now I just have this macho man that I'm living with, and I'm this little girl, and he has no idea about my dreams, but he tried. He would take me to these, come join the Disney stars of your day, and the future of your children is waiting for them. And then you would hear this on the radio and you'd be like, oh my gosh, dad, you got to take me there. I need to go there because I'm going to be the next superstar, dad. You don't understand. I got to go. And so he would be like, mommy, those are scams. And of course, as a child, it's like heartbreaking because when you grow up, you realize they're trying to save you the heartbreak, right? Of realizing that it is a scam. A lot of those things are scams. So we struggled through that, my dad and I. And it wasn't until I was, like in college that I actually was able to get myself a little bit more into it. And I did short films here and there and films, student films, and lost track again because I just didn't have the funds to like keep my dream going. And I really also didn't have the support. I'm going to say support is a huge influence in whether you make it in this industry or not, because there are days that you just want to give up, and there are days that you're like, oh my god, it's so hard, why is it so hard? And you realize the harder it gets, the closer you're getting. And I feel like I've come to a realization where it's like, I'm not going to give up even when it gets hard. Yeah.
That is so awesome, which brings me to my next question about success into life. Because as you know, and as the audience will discover, Success into Life is a movie that depicts the main character, Caro, that you play,
Yeah.
doing the job that she doesn't want to do until she gets the job she really wants, which doesn't even exist. So she has to make it up, right?
Yes.
So, can you please share with the audience if you identify at all with this, which I think most actors do?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Um, Especially in Miami, it's kind of like LA, where you find your servers, waitresses, girls that go into careers that could be demeaning for them, all to make the money to support their dreams. And I feel like a world we can relate to this, not just in the industry. I feel that for beautiful women, even, it becomes more difficult for them to get into an industry where they feel that is all they're seen for, like an object. And there's been studies about that, how making a woman look a certain way for a man, it just, she stops being a human, and she becomes an object in their mind. And really, it's a sad thing to realize, especially as far as we've come as a race, as a human race, and to still struggle with these little nuances.
Well, that brings me to the nitty-gritty that I wanted to ask you about. No, I'm just kidding, don't be scared. Um, no, 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 because I think that there's something that we need to talk about, right? The
Yeah,
elephant in the room
yeah,
is
that's
you are, since nobody can see you, because this is a podcast,
yes,
you
thank
are
you.
beautiful, light hair, light-eyed, beautiful smile, a beautiful figure woman who is an actress. And I'm sure that this isn't without its share of challenges. So do you think that there are any moments that, for example, where you felt like it was working against you? Can you name some examples? Do you have an anecdote about that maybe? Something light, not something I mean, this isn't Oprah. You don't have to,
Super
spill the
heavy,
beans about something really traumatic.
super
But
heavy. No, so you see, to me, it's more like it's your look, it's your representation. And the more the media tells you you have to look a certain way, then you either do it or you don't get casted or you don't get picked because you're not keeping up with the time and you're not keeping up with what's to come. And although you're trying to represent a certain way of thinking and ideals, your ideals are becoming irrelevant. And it's difficult because you battle yourself so that you can just continue to be in the industry that you love and do what you love, which is give character justice and allow people to connect with you.
so you feel that the industry forces you to focus on your looks, otherwise you get passed over, basically.
I think absolutely your talent is number one. And there's always going to be, what are you casting for and what is the look you're going for? And there's definitely not a problem in that. But when your look is not enough for what you are trying to accomplish. So, yes, there is the pretty girl casting and there is the best friend casting and the understudy and the other girls that are maybe not as pretty casting, but maybe those girls want that role of that pretty girl because that's the star of the movie. But the star of the movie is the pretty girl, and she's a wonderful actress. but she's getting it because this is who they're focusing on, and that not so pretty girl is gonna reach for that goal and continue to try and get it with no result because there's a standard.
Because it's so punishing. Absolutely. Which brings me to another subject, which is very um, on topic, which is your movie, Unbeaten. Can you tell us a little bit about the storyline? So, in a few words, the plot.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you so much. Unbeaten is a film that I worked on for a few years just to get it out into festivals, and it's finally out there. It's about a young woman that comes to the city, and she is a dancer. And in this new place that she's living, she can't find any work that will actually let her continue live there. And so she gets kind of pushed into this dark way of life where she turns into a dancer at a club to make a living and try to pursue her dreams. And as she's doing that, she is going to different locations trying to find work and being viewed as just this object. And, you know, she never finds that type of work, and she realizes that there's a move to make here. And is it, you know, stick with what you've learned and what you know is going to pay your bills, or go out there and, you know, maybe fail a million times and pick yourself up again and struggle through the pain and just do it. Just go for it, and that's it. What's she
Well,
gonna do? I don't know.
well, I think that this is it's a very it's got elements of Flashdance. Am I correct? It's got a little bit of the Flashdance vibe,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, a little
Because you
bit.
have someone who's an artist, who's a dancer, but who's also an erotic dancer, just to kind of like to be able to earn a living from dancing in a way, let's say, right? It worked for Cardi B anyway. But I mean,
Yes, it works.
it worked for Cardi B. I mean, what the heck? Um, so no, but I think what's interesting. I'm very excited about the Unbeaten movie, actually. So everybody should follow that. Can you tell us what the handle is? It's
It's unbeaten movie.
Unbeaten movie at so on Instagram at
At
Unbeaten movie.
unbeaten movie. Yeah.
Okay, and
Yeah, from you, by the way. I was like, success into life movie. That's it. That's unbeaten movie. It's
that's
perfect.
right. That's right. There
Tell
you
you,
go.
you inspire me.
Well, thank you. You inspire me too. So, we don't want to give away the end of the movie because we want people to come and see it, right? So we're not going to do any more spoilers with regard to that. But I want to know if maybe you would like to talk about any other future projects or what your hopes are for Unbeaten or other things you're working on.
So my hopes have been completely fulfilled, honestly, for what I had to work with Unbeaten. And at this point, I'm so grateful for everything. And I am moving it forward. So if it does well in festivals, I already started a Instagram page for it. And once that gets a little bit more traction, I'm going to start seeking markets and seeing how I can present this to some investors and maybe distributors. To me, this film, it cuts close to home. It's that film that is full expression, right? And having just one woman watch it and be like, God, yes, that's it. That's it. That's it. That's it for me.
So your hope for the film is to have really women to be able to see it and identify with it, right?
Yes.
Well, that sounds like a wonderful goal, and it sounds like maybe Nat Pay and those kinds of markets that are kind of Latin and kind of American, right? I
Yes.
mean,
Yes. And they come around Miami, so I think it just passed. So I'm gonna be waiting probably either way. I gotta wait on the festivals. That'll be like one more year, probably. Yeah.
right. And we also have our friends at Filmgate, who I'm sure would be very, very happy to screen. your short film in one of their many festivals. They have like a festival per month. So definitely Filmgate Interactive. I'll probably be meeting with Diliana, who is the founder, one of the founders, next week. So
Mhm.
should definitely hit her up. There are resources out there,
Yeah.
thank goodness, for independent filmmakers. There's also the Oolite Arts, which is they have the cinematic residency, which is great. I mean, they want you to make a feature for 50 grand, which is insane. Uh,
Yeah.
it would work maybe if you have
No,
like one location, but
it would have to be a paranormal activity kind of thing. Can we just,
exactly.
you know what? We're not gonna pay for
Paranormal erotic dancer
a
activity,
townhome that we can use. It has the creepy stairs and yes.
right? But with erotic dancers, please.
Yes.
Right? It'll be like a sexy zombie. Um, you know what? I have to ask you one final thing though, and I have this feeling because there are women writers or writer directors that I really admire. And one of them is a writer actress. Her name is Phoebe Waller-Bridge of Fleabag fame and Killing Eve and Crashing. And now she's just hit the big time. So it's like James Bond, Indiana Jones. It's like, oh, we don't even know where to put her anymore. We want her to fix all our scripts and make them palatable to women because James Bond has been like the classic misogynist story, right? Like he just sleeps with women and like, throws them out like a gum wrapper or something. And
Pretty
it's like,
and all gorgeous.
and they're all gorgeous and they're all completely
Like,
expendable, you know? So
that too.
it's a little irritating to watch James Bond, I think, as a woman in the 21st century. I'm sure it worked in the 60s, no problem. But anyway, so they've called her on for all this. And I can't help thinking a lot of the times in her early work that started a lot as plays, that she would do things like some kind of very like raunchy or very erotic or just be naked or show a part of her body that you're like, oh God, please no thank you. And it's almost as if like that's Fleabag season one. And then Fleabag season two, like she almost never takes her clothes off. And it's funny to me because it's almost like, tell me if you agree or disagree,
Mhm.
be frank, be honest. You do it first to get their attention. And then it's like, okay, now that I have your attention, I will tell you what I think. What do you think of that?
You know, I can't bash her reasoning because it's true. You're going to get their attention if you post that. And that's exactly what you're trying to do. So she's succeeding at it and she feels comfortable with herself to do it. Go on and do it, girl. I don't say that everyone can do it. I don't think that everyone would feel comfortable or would have the character in them to be able to do something so personal. However, if you have the stuff and you're willing to take that step for yourself and you're comfortable with it, listen, every beach in Europe, everyone's naked. So
Well, and this is just me leading you down the primrose path because you know the opening scene in Success in Through Life is you in a thong. So,
oh my goodness. You know,
we're basically using the same tactic. It's like, hi,
by the way,
hi, this
here and she's an amazing, amazing director.
it's like this is the now you can are gonna basically listen to everything that comes out of Junet's mouth now that you've seen one of her best angles.
Pretty much. You know, in a funny story, I was put into a position where I was basically in and terrible. I mean, I'm like super uncomfortable, but I was basically in a tub with my co star to have a super important conversation. And I had to crop so much of that just so that people would focus on what we were saying instead of what was being shown. And I think that a lot of times you should know when to give and when it can be a huge distraction to something really important.
I think that's I think it's wise. I think that yes, sometimes it's just to get their attention, but sometimes also the joke is on them,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because you're doing it to get their attention, but maybe you can say something about it that makes fun of who they are. Like it's like that scene with Margot Robbie drinking champagne in the did you see that in The Big Short? She's in
Yeah.
a bubble bath with drinking champagne and then talking like explaining like
Yep. I remember this.
you remember that?
Like, yes, yes, yes. I remember how it was like, and you won't forget it because you're like, whoa, we were really focused.
Right. Now we know what toxic acids are. Thanks, Margot.
Exactly.
So yeah, so the moral of the story is use all the feminine power you have.
If you got it, use it. Not about what 50% of the world doesn't got it. So we're up. We're really up.
Anyway, Junit, thank you so much. We'll repeat all the hashtags for you. Cuban Doll, what's your hashtag? I mean your handle?
Junet underscore Morales.
That's right.
And then Unbeaten Movie. And then I always hashtag Cuban Doll for myself.
That's right. She is a Cuban doll, those of you who haven't seen her. And if not, get her on Instagram and follow Success into Life, the movie, Success into Life movie, please.
Movie. Yes.
We're so excited. We are going to very soon have a kickoff event for the crowd fund of Success into Life, most likely in Calle Ocho in Little Havana at the Society Cleaners, which is the location, one of the main locations for the film. Lourdes, our godmother, is extremely excited. We hope all of you can join. It's going to be a party with free drinks and live music and the beautiful trailer for this film, which is nearly ready. Oh, so exciting.
Excited.
Thank
Yes.
you so much, Junit.
No, thank you, Isabel, for having me. It's been a pleasure to be a part of your podcast and be the opening act for it. Is just it's wonderful. I since I've met you, I've only had good things to say about you and have had just wonderful experiences by your side and some really great advice. So, of course, I'm more than happy to help out where I can.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Junit. And tune in next week for more women artists being hyphenated, being Spanglish.
Spanglish is speaking.
That's right, Spanish speaking. Ya tu sabes. Thank you, Judith. And do you want to say, just before we go, a last little phrase? What is your favorite phrase in Spanish or in Spanglish? Let's go.
I can't say that on air.
Say it, say it.
Coño la madre.
That's Miami for you. I love it. Thank you, Judith. Besito.
Bye, besos. Bye.
Bye.